Even if the agents that are with you don't go, you're going to have this influx of people that are interested in real and they like and trust you. And so they're going to call you and be like, why are you moving?
If someone is like researching real, right, and they're thinking about making the move over, like what advice would you give them as far as like researching brokerages? What's going on, Kristen? Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am well. I'm excited to dig in because I've been watching you since you've come over and like you building and like all the stuff that you're doing. So I am excited. For context, for people that are listening, watching, whatever they may be doing, when did you make the move over to Real?
I moved in May of 2024, so a little over a year and a half ago.
Isn't that crazy how sometimes it's like you feel like you just moved and then you're like, oh geez, it's been like over a year. It's
Yeah.
been, you know.
Well, it kind of feels like both. Like I'm like, oh, it was like, I can't believe a year and a half has gone by. And then I'm like, I hardly remember like not being here.
Yeah. So let's walk through like your brokerage journey. What did that look like as far as like getting into real estate? Like what brokerages have you been with? What's the journey been?
So this is my third brokerage. I actually started out in real estate 10 years ago, and I got hired at an independent brokerage in Chandler, Arizona to do recruiting, actually. I was there for all the way until I was there for 5 years. And then in 2020, we went to eXp. The owner of the company was like, the future of real estate's cloud-based. And I went kicking and screaming because we were very like hyper local and office people. And we moved to eXp, and we had 906 agents at that brokerage. Probably only 350 came over. But anyways, I dove in. I was like, all right, I'm here. I'm just going to like look at all the cool shit people are doing. And I just was like a student there for a while, grew a big organization there. And then I moved to Real. So that's my third place.
So I want to kind of rewind because I talk to a lot of brokerages and large teams that want to come over. And like, I'm always like, you got to like act fast, but also act smart.
Yeah.
And so like, I know that you talk to a ton of people as far as like attraction calls, but like, as far as like, if someone's listening and like, they want to move their brokerage to Real, like we have a lot of great options for that. But a lot of times, like, I feel like it doesn't always go smoothly. So like what advice would you give someone? Like we're hopping right in, right? Like what advice would you give to someone if they were looking to move like, you know, their brokerage of 20, 50, 100 plus people?
Oh, I feel like that was so hard because there was 906 people and I was the recruiter. So I had brought in so many of the people and I was just like so worried. And I'm sure if you're a broker owner, and again, I wasn't the broker owner, but I took so much responsibility of what are the agents going to think? And so basically like really plan out how you're going to announce this to them. And we started doing like one-off conversations with people and then small groups with people. And of course the word got out. I think you have to expect that. And then it created chaos. So I feel like really like you need to have a plan and almost like expect like if it does go sideways, like what's my plan B, right? And so I would just say like one thing that I feel like was really, really good was having like multiple people in on the conversations, like your new partners, to make everybody get excited about it. And then not everyone's going to come, and that's okay. I think that was something that I learned leaving eXp. I was also nervous, right? So I had built to 350 and then I had lost a group of 100. So I was at like 250 when I moved over to Real. And again, it was like that same thing. Like, what are they going to think? Is it a good idea for them? And so really like as the broker owner, you have your reasons for going that will make sense to you, but you also have to put your hat on of your agents. So your brand new agents, your solo agents, your high producing agents, your team leaders, your creatives, like, and just really be able to speak to everybody to get them excited and not through the lens of like why it makes sense for you as the broker owner.
Well, and so I think that like there's things to balance. And the thing you said, not everyone is going to come, and that's okay. Because it's like when a lot of times when brokers are like running the numbers, they're like, oh, well, we had 50 agents. So when all 50 come over, this is how much we'll make in rev share. This is how much we can make in splits. And I'm like, there's going to be people that either don't come or don't want to stay with the team or don't want to whatever. Right. And so you can't expect 100%, of people to come over. Right.
I was going to say like the thing that I was like, so that happened both times. Okay. So like when I moved over to Real, I thankfully had a lot of the agents with me at eXp come too. But what I didn't realize was going to happen is tons of the relationships that I had built over the years that never wanted to join me at eXp were all over in my inbox, right? Like, oh my gosh, like I saw that you moved to Real. So all this, like when you're moving, just remember, like, even if the agents that are with you don't go, you're going to have this influx of people that are interested in Real and they like and trust you. And so they're going to call you and be like, why are you moving? Like, I respect your, like, I respect seeing you go. And I need to know from your lens, why did you choose that move?
You know, especially for you and like Dustin and some of the people, like when Dustin, I saw him, he came up to me at an event. He's like, hey, I'm here because we're shooting content because I'm coming over. And I just like shoved him. Right. And I was like, you were the one person, not the one person, but like you were the one person who I never thought would leave. So I'm sure he was just getting blown up. Right. Because like, I never thought that he would. Right.
Yeah.
Like I knew him, but like not like well. And so yeah, it's just kind of funny.
But what a good lesson for you. Like we have those moments where we're like, can I say fuck? Where we're like, well, we're like, fuck, like I never thought they would have left. I wish I would have actually been like in conversation with them about, you know what I mean? Like nobody ever tried to recruit me ever at eXp. Like, so I'm like, and people were like, there's no way she's leaving. And one day I was like, and it was Dustin. I didn't even know Dustin at eXp. And Randy was like, oh, did you see that guy Dustin moved over to Real? I'm like, I don't know who he is. But what really piqued my interest was he had a 350 person organization and he moved to Real. And I had just lost 100 people to Real when that group left. And I was like, okay, instead of me just being like naive and saying, oh, it's just a ripoff of eXp, I need to actually see like, why are people leaving and going there? And so I finally like my mind opened up, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think you mentioned, you know, that there had been people that had been following your journey, but they didn't want to go to eXp. Right. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as you made the change, you're like, hey, I've been looking at this and I kind of like Kristen, like this could be the best of both worlds for me to go do the thing. And that's someone who is co-sponsored in both of our groups. Candace recently came over and like, I kind of told her that I was like, there are a ton of people that like, you know, that like maybe didn't want to go there, that like you will be surprised that they're going to reach out to you. And then like over the past few weeks, she's like, oh my God, like I didn't realize how right you were. I was like, yeah, like there are tons of people that you know, or that are watching you, or that whatever, that it's just kind of surprising who had also been eyeing it or thinking it, you know? And so I kind of want to talk about like moving, you know, you said that some of your people had come over and like they were with you at eXp. Yeah. How did you navigate those conversations? Because like, as you said, like when you're moving over a brokerage, it's difficult. Like you want to make sure that you have the buy-in of your best people, right? And so normally team leads or broker owners go to like their top, you know, top, you know, 5% of agents, right? Or how many of our agents that is, to be like, hey, you know, do you think that you'd be open to this? Like we've been kind of thinking about this kind of thing. But then like, if you talk to too many people, then it's like, the people you didn't talk to are pissed because like you didn't trust them enough and like word gets out and all of this stuff. So like, how did you navigate that when you guys were looking to leave eXp to come here?
Yeah. So I had individual conversations. Like I'm close friends with a lot of these people too. So I was like, I actually like got off the call with Dustin and I was like, shit, I really want to go. Like, what is this going to look like for me? And I called, she's one of my agents, but she's also one of my best friends. And I called her, I was like, told her about it. And I was like, just get on a call with Dustin. Like, tell me your thoughts. She got on and she's like, oh, we're fucking going over to Real. And I was just like, okay. So then I was like, okay, we're just going to start. So I started having conversations with, like you said, like my team leaders, just people I'm close to. And then I had a call scheduled as I had these conversations where Dustin went over like all the details. I was like, hey, I'm doing this. It makes sense for me. I also think it makes sense for you. And like, if you want to hop on this call, if you don't, like, I still love you. We're totally fine, but this is definitely happening. So just like letting them know, like, it's okay if they don't want to go. I think sometimes it's like, because I know like when we moved from our independent brokerage to eXp, like they had no choice. They had to move, right? Because the brokerage was closing down. And so I just wanted to like really let them know, like, it's not like you have to come with me, but I really think that you'll like it. And so that way worked really well.
Well, and I think that kind of leaving it open to like, it's their decision to make, not I'm doing this, we're going. Because I know some people have felt that way, right? When their sponsor is leaving, or their sponsor's coming over here, or whatever, you know, the combination of movement is like, they're like, well, like just because you're going, like I don't know that I want to.
But what I found through those conversations was like totally surprising to me was like, oh, we don't care about eXp. We just want to work with you. And I'm like, what? Like, so that was like, and here was the thing, like I'll tell you a huge difference that I've noticed is like at eXp, I felt this like weight on my shoulders of like if I stopped, everything would crumble.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because you're building like your silo, right? And so one really attractive thing to me at Real was like Real's the sticky thing. I'm not the value proposition at all. Like I'm the cherry on top. And so really like being able to shift that and taking that weight off my shoulders and seeing my agents plug into the brokerage and they love it. Like I'm obsessed with hearing those stories. Like
yeah,
Real is the biggest value proposition.
No, for sure. I mean, and I think that it's always funny having conversations because when you're having a conversation with someone who's considering coming to Real, and that's like probably who's watching this right now, it's like, people will ask like, well, what do I get if you're, my sponsor? Like what do I get? And like anyone, and especially agents coming from eXp. And so it's funny, like talking to you or Dustin or Clayton or Noel, like these people that like had these groups at eXp where y'all did have to pour in your groups every week, every day. Like now it's like some of that weight is lifted because there are so many great things. Right. And so it's like, I know y'all do Tuesday masterminds. Your top producer mastermind?
Yeah. Randy and Dustin do. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But like, so I know that like there's that and like that's open to everyone, but like y'all are all pouring into something, that is both for your group, but also for Real. And then the agents that are joining you in your group also have access to my mastermind and, Susie's mastermind and Michelle's mastermind, blah, 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 like, and go down the list of all of these things that they can do. And so it's something that it's always interesting talking to people, especially that have come from eXp, because they're like, man, I didn't believe that was actually a thing. But now that I'm here, I'm seeing that like they get my thing, but then they get everyone else's thing too. If someone is like researching Real, right, and they're thinking about making the move over, like what advice would you give them as far as like researching brokerages? Like, especially like, you were a recruiter for, so many years for, brokerage, like you've been doing this for a while. What advice would you give someone that's looking to potentially make a move?
Obviously look at like the full, like all the things, like the Real slide deck, right? You can get it, you can watch it on YouTube, whatever. But I think the biggest thing too is just like finding agents that you respect in the industry that are there and having multiple conversations and just seeing from their perspective, like, why do they like it? And I don't know, I just like, I always say plug in before you make the decision. If there's any events you can go to, Katie mentioned how she does a weekly call, like we do a weekly call, everyone has weekly calls. So it's like, you can jump into those and see like, do I see myself like plugging into this brokerage? Because really you can make a move from another brokerage to Real and not really like see the difference if you don't plug in. So I always say, don't make like a lateral move. It's like, if you're moving over, you want to like jump in and dive into all the things because there's so much good stuff.
Well, that's like for the masterminds. I mean, there's like 20 or 30 masterminds like every single week. So it's like, depending on like, so a thing that I always get a lot is they're like, oh, it's just content creators, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's what you see on Instagram. But like, we have like our $100 million group, we have our $50 million group. Like there are tons of things that are happening that aren't necessarily like plastered on Instagram. And like one of that is that we have like 20 to 30 masterminds a week that like are around so many different topics, not just like how to make a reel or whatever, right? So there is a ton to be able to kind of check out. And then like, if that's not your thing, that's cool too. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that our financial model is one of the most competitive, in the industry. So yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many things like once I came over, I didn't come over for this reason, but now I'm like, this is the best thing. Like Real Wallet was like interesting to me, but I was like, oh, it's like, whatever. It's like my favorite thing now. Like the fact that, I can have like any money that comes in, I can allocate 25% to go into like a tax savings bucket. And the fact that like I logged in and I had $191,000 of Real capital I could borrow. And I have
like this could be good or bad, right? Like,
yeah. Well, it's just crazy. I was like, this bank account I actually like better than my Bank of America bank account. Yeah. Like that part, I don't know. I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that there's a lot that it's not just a brokerage to hang your license, right? Yeah. And so like with Real Wallet, I know so many agents that are like still paying their 2024 taxes, right? And so it's like we're trying to set our agents up to be able to like just have more wealth. And if you're not looking to build a big group, you're not looking to bring people over, like, stock purchase program and having being able to allocate money towards taxes so you just don't have to think about it and you have money to pay your taxes, I think is just like, those are things that are like realtor 101 that I wish everyone would do.
Yeah, it's like little things, but we're not going, at least I would say most of us aren't going into our bank accounts and like moving money into another bank account and setting ourselves up that way. And so it's little things like that, like having stock that we don't have to think about. It's like automatically getting pulled out. It just really helps us because I'm really close to my friend's a tax strategist for a big company, and she's telling me like, so many agents make so much money, but they don't have any money. And so it's really like, I feel like Real is the only company that I've seen that is like really passionate about changing that.
Yeah. No, I love that. That is if you haven't opted into Real Wallet, like you should, just at least to poke around and see what it is. You got a cool looking sleek debit card. And then you can also transfer money out. Like you don't have to use it as your main bank account. But I do like the idea of like having that easily allocated 20, 25, 30, whatever number you use, right, of your taxes, just to be flagged and like set it and forget it and then not get screwed each quarter at the end of the year. What's something that we haven't talked about that you think people should know about Real, or like just, I know you have conversations like these on, podcast and Zoom. I know you have your podcast, but like, and I know you have a ton of traction calls with agents. So like, what's something that like, you're like, oh, I should always make sure you know this kind of thing. Anything off the top of your head?
I think the only thing the reason I came over, and something I don't think we've touched on is too much, is the culture. And like people kind of are like, oh, is it really like that great? And it really is. Like I feel like one of my other businesses that I have, like the whole like our core values are like collaboration over competition, and you hear that a lot. You really, really hear that a lot, and it's full of shit at a lot of places. And so when I came over here, I was like, is it really going to be like that? And it truly is. Like, I feel like there's not anybody that I've reached out to that is not willing to like, talk to me, give me like advice on something. I just feel like it's very abundant in this brokerage. And I feel like when I said plug into the brokerage, yes, it's plugging into like, if there's a mastermind call or whatever it is. But the other part of it is like build relationships within the brokerage, because that is like the biggest secret sauce, I think, to being at a brokerage like this, is like really having these relationships and these connections to move your business forward.
But it's something also that you have to seek out, right? Like, and I think that you've done a really good job of that. I was doing one of these interviews with another agent, Josh Rogers, who also came over from eXp. And like, he was like, that was my biggest thing, is he was like, I knew I had to do something different. He's like, I just kept my head down at eXp and just sold houses. And he's like, obviously we're still selling a ton of houses. Like they're a top 10, Jacksonville team or whatever in Florida. But like, his entire thing was, he's like, I want to make the connections. I want to meet the people. I want to like be plugged in. And he was like on every mastermind doing all of the things, because he was like, it's been like kind of his thing that's helped them to, exponentially grow different aspects of their business. Right. But like too many people join and then they're like, I don't feel the culture, but they've never been to a live event. They've never been to a happy hour. They don't go on any masterminds. Like they've never talked to anyone other than their sponsor. And maybe they don't even talk to them. So it's like, you've got to be someone who takes initiative and a go-getter that's like going to put yourself out there. And like, it's kind of scary and it sucks. But like, once you find like your people here, I think it just makes it so much better. So I love that.
It really does. It takes, and like you said, it feels awkward. 100% feels so awkward at first, but the more you do it, the easier it is, like anything.
Yeah. Where can someone connect with you online?
Instagram for sure. Don't go to Facebook. It's heyKristenCantrell.com.
All right.
Or awesome. Oh my God, I just said Instagram and then said .com. At heyKristenCantrell.
No .com. You can try it, but that would actually be funny.
Yeah.
Like if that was not like your user, but like if someone like made their URL, because like, how you can put a dot in your username.
Yeah.
I'm just a loser.
They should. Right. Yeah. I've never seen anyone do that.
I wonder if someone has that and you could like have both.
That's
take over the world. All right. Anyways, these are just the dumb thoughts that I have that sometimes I say out loud. Hopefully this gets cut.
Dumb thoughts are fun.
We'll see. All right, Kristen.
Oh, hey. I know. Okay.
What? Yeah.
So the other part, like obviously like one of the coolest like things when you do plug in like that and build friendships, and I'll give the example of me and Katie. Like me and Katie don't know each other. But because like she's so good at plugging into the brokerage, I literally reached out a couple months ago or maybe a month ago to Dustin. And I was like, hey, I have an agent in Houston who wants to move over. I need to find a co-sponsor that is also in Houston who's the go-to person. And he's like, oh my gosh, you got to call Katie. So when you're plugging in, like, know that yes, there's like referral opportunities, but the other part is like, you can build an organization by really like building relationships and being that like go-to person in your local market.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my thought.
No, for sure. And that's what I love about co-sponsorship. And it's like, you can have someone that you know nationally, and then you can grab someone locally, so that you have someone that you can call to, get the local support or broker support and all that. And so it's also cool because then it's like the revenue split. Like it's not a weird thing. It's just like this person and that person. So it's definitely a great added benefit. Especially if you know multiple people at the brokerage. Like I think what's difficult now is more and more people come over. It's like, oh, well, I know so and so and so and so and so and so, and so like you can kind of have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and for sure.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I hope to see you in person sometime soon, but I appreciate you for hopping on this, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.